All right. All right. All right. All right. Good. No, it's not. But I think just give me that. Put mine back on there. On this go ahead, push see a stick and then it'll come out. Watch it move. It's just going back out. It did off. Try the top again anyway. All right. See, and charging it. No, it's not. Plug it in. See how it keeps going. Maybe that's cool. It's like it's not tight in there. So you can hang it up top. Like higher, higher. No higher. I can. It's not in the way. Come here. Come here. No, let's try it right here. Nah, it ain't gonna work. Now it's gone. Maybe it'll stay like that. Yeah, watch it leave. Yeah, that seems to work. That seems like that works. Okay. Cat. You ain't here. Hey, y'all. Going live. And we are live. And we are almost in the spring, believe it or not. That's the nature of where we're at today. We're almost into spring. Okay. Minute. Everybody should be ready to go. One, two, 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2. Oh, boy. Okay. Check it out. Check it out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? All right. Let's get started, y'all. Let's get started. Okay, great, great. Hey. Hey.
Hey, Steve.
What's happening, Ella?
Nothing.
You're going to stand right here. You're not going to move. And you're going to put this stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we got to make some bars.
What's up?
Anyways, I can think of making up a bar.
I love you.
Hey, Steve. What's up? I got the kids on, so you might hear the little TV. What was that Chanel was running for? What office was she running for?
Who is that?
I think her name was Chanel or something.
Okay,
Huh?
she's running for the 8th district state rep down in Springfield.
Oh, that's not us here.
It's not, no, our district is 78.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
How are you all?
Hey, we good.
How's it going, Steve?
All right. I can hear the TV in the background. Somebody.
Yeah,
Can you hear
that's
me?
me. That's me. The kids are here. Let me mute.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So you were saying, what district you were in?
Where is everybody?
Some are on different channels. Some are on different channels.
Oh, okay.
Facebook and,
So what else is happening?
you.
Me?
Yeah. What's the word?
Well, a lot of stuff is happening. Yeah, the No Kings protest. I think is baloney.
Well,
Because I mean, they're protesting. A lot of people are protesting. Isn't it J.B. Pritzker's the king too? Because he doesn't pay taxes.
don't know. I didn't go to it, so
Well,
Huh?
I'll say I'd rather have Pritzker than Trump any day.
yeah. Oh,
What do you
yeah,
mean?
So there's
He
no comparison. You can't compare them two because that's just like apples and oranges.
he's a billionaire also.
But that's
yeah,
He,
okay.
he could
and
be a
then
better.
he's raising taxes.
But
They're
it's not hurting us like Trump is. Trump is hurting everybody, including the Republicans. But they too dumb to see it.
you just said that he's not hurting you.
No,
Some
I
people
said
were
Pritzker not hurting us, not Trump.
yeah, he is.
Uh-uh. Pritzker has not done like your friend has done.
So JB Pritzker doesn't pay no taxes. So you
Trump
like
don't
him.
either. But see, him not paying taxes is not as big as Trump not paying taxes, and then try to stick his foot up our butt as far and brag about it. Now that's the bad part. He think he doing something great because he doing it for his rich folks. He
So
ain't
you
doing
tell
nothing
me
great. No,
so
you ain't gonna win, Walter. You're not gonna win.
you're telling me no Democrats are like rich
I didn't
billionaires?
say that. I did not
Yeah, you
say that.
did. You just
No,
said
I
that.
did not. I did not say that. Don't be putting words in my mouth.
You just said that.
No, you thought I said that, but that's not
You
what I
said
said.
Trump has rich friends. So
No,
you
I
don't
did
think the
not.
Democrats
I said Trump is giving his rich friends all the benefits. I clarify that. He's giving them all the benefits, the tax breaks, and everything, and taking from the poor people,
okay, the
be they
Democrats
Republican
rich
or
people,
Democrat.
the rich
I'm not against
Democrats are
nobody.
getting the rich Democrats are getting tax breaks.
I am not against nobody as long as it does not hurt us, me, poor people, people who on the margin, people who just barely can afford to make ends meet.
Let me ask you
Okay.
this: when we had with the last Republican governor we had, how did that work out for the state?
Who was that, Edgar?
No, Ron.
Oh,
Roner. So you telling me the lockdown worked?
For what?
The lockdown 2020, lockdown COVID, lockdown didn't work.
What do you mean work to do what?
Didn't work.
Keep people alive?
Yeah, I was out.
What ailment do you have?
Huh?
What is your sickness?
Nothing. I had nothing.
Did you go around people?
Yeah.
You don't think you passed anything or you had anything?
No. I had nothing. It's a scare tactic.
Yeah. Well,
It is. How come Illinois was closed? JB Pritzker went to Wisconsin or to the islands, Bahamas, and they have no closures.
but he
Nobody
didn't.
was closed.
I thought the whole world was locked down.
No, certain states were not.
They wouldn't even let people come in through the airports and ships. So
They had it. I was working the airport. They had
yeah,
ships coming in. They had planes coming in.
not at the beginning. Not at the beginning. Everything got stopped. Remember?
Yeah,
But
but look what happened now. Now we're letting people in. Now they got TB. So TB is on the rise.
where they coming from? Europe?
No, Venezuela.
Oh,
Yes, the guy that killed that girl. There's no protests about that. None. Zilch. Zero.
why would there be a protest when he's locked up?
Yeah, but he got TB.
Well, what's he gonna do about that? Lock his germs up too?
No, why they got him in population with other people that you could get the TB in, like in
So,
jail?
do
That
we
thing
know that?
doesn't make no sense whatsoever.
What I'm saying, do we know that? We don't know that. They may have some special quarantine situations for that. I mean, you just can't let them roam free with a
How we
murder.
don't know that?
Hmm?
We we don't know that.
Oh, well, I'm more than sure if you know it, the proper authorities know it, and they're doing things to prevent the spread of it.
And look,
So,
they had some immigrants were at the Home Depot on Cicero demanding jobs and stuff.
what does that mean? Demanding jobs. They went in the
Sure.
store, want your jobs.
Yeah, they're demanding jobs.
I missed that.
Huh? It was in the police thing, the Citizen app.
Wait, so what's this? Where was this Home Depot? On Cicero and Armitage?
I
Or
believe so. I
Cicero and
got the
30?
I got the thing on my phone. Somebody sent it to me today. It's wild. All this stuff. It's wild. It's on Cicero and 1900 block on Cicero. That's by what? Cortland, Armitage,
Yes,
by Cortland.
it's Armitage.
Yeah.
Okay. They went in there and they said they went in there with guns and said, "We want your jobs."
Well, they made a police thing about it.
No, I'm
That
saying,
used to be the old World War II building right there. The big brown building. Remember that building?
no. I just remember the Home Depot. I can't recall what was there before.
Yeah, it's on
But
the right hand side.
point, let's stay on track here. The point is that we went from, I asked what happened when we had the last Republican governor in Illinois, what happened to the state? And you went to COVID. And COVID really didn't, I don't think
What do
it
you
played a
mean? What
lot.
happened to the last? What happened to the last Democrat governor?
No, I'm
They're
saying
just
that,
kicking it down the curb.
no, but look at what the state went through hell. That guy sat there for 4 years and didn't pass a budget until the fourth year, which
What
was
about
really,
now? Now
but
that one hospital closed down, do you think that's Trump's fault, or is
that
that
doesn't
or is that JB Pritzker's
come from
fault?
the state passing a budget. I'm confused. I'm trying to tell you, we didn't have very good success with the last Republican governor. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying
So, whose
we have
fault is it the West Suburban Hospital closed?
all these hospitals are closing, man.
Why?
It's management and not getting funding.
But they don't know how to build insurance companies.
Most of it in the poor communities have Medicaid. And I think your president slashed funds coming into the hospital. Um,
No, that
and
was
that
poor
that
management.
helped. That helped a lot.
But that was poor management. That guy did.
Well, he shouldn't have took the money from him.
You need to go to a hospital, huh?
Huh?
What's wrong with you, Walter? You feeling okay today?
Yeah, I'm good. Why?
We just doing a thermometer check on you, buddy. People,
No, I mean, there's all these issues going on.
you must have
I
a fever.
mean,
Must have a mental fever or something.
look at that thing that happened downtown. 500 kids running around. They beat
Yeah,
up one guy.
I glad you brought that up about the kids. Because I saw something on the internet, and there was some white guys, I don't know if they were Democrat or Republican. They were obviously ex-army or military, and they saw all these young black kids with guns, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we got to get the police out there. You know, we can't go out there with regular tactical vehicles. We have to have tactical vehicles to go out there when they have that kind of armament." And I'm going, you know, yeah, they got a lot of guns, but the problem was they saw young black kids. I see young white kids all the time with machine guns and 50 caliber rifles and all this, and they never say, "Oh, wait a minute, we got to go out there and have tactical tanks and things where they're at. Let's go through each one of these farmlands or whatever white kids are." And I'm going, what? Certain people just, how do we know they don't have a right to own those weapons? Now, what I didn't like was that they were brandishing the weapons. You know, they were like, "Hey, look what I got." You know, that wasn't the thing. But I seen young white kids do it in farm areas, and they're out there shooting up.
They do.
So I'm
They
like,
do shoot on the farmland. They do.
yeah, but I'm saying if you can legally have a gun now.
Hey, Steve, they killed that 17-year-old kid by my house almost on Grand and Rutherford. That's a 36th ward.
What are you saying? Was that a black kid that killed him? I thought it was a
No,
Hispanic
no.
kid.
I don't know. I don't know who killed them.
Oh,
I'm just saying some kid got killed a few days ago when it was windy. I'm like, what the hell's going on? It was like 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what the
well, you
hell's
should have
going
had
on?
his butt at home in the bed.
Well, no, he's in the funeral now.
I don't know
17 years old.
what happened with that.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah, it was all over with the news.
Yeah, it happened right by the Home Depot. Well, not the Home Depot, where the Applebee's is located right up in there. And the what's that dealership? The Honda dealership or Hyundai or whatever.
Yeah, the Honda dealership right there.
Rap? I don't know what. But
McGriff.
yeah, what is that? Grand or is that Fullerton? I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
that's
it was
Grand
on
Avenue.
Grand and N Street.
Normandy.
Yeah.
Normandy.
But
Yeah, right.
I think a lot of this stuff is gang warfare.
That's true. They probably owe them money.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
See, they front you drugs, then you got to pay. If you don't pay, that's your life.
yeah, but this young man, I don't know. Did they ever describe who he was or say who he was? Or
I
anything?
don't know. They're being hush hush. I asked the alderman. They're checking his phone, his Facebook contacts, and his phone, whoever he has a beef with. Because what they probably told him to come out of your house, and then they probably shot him. Because well, why would you be outside 1 o'clock in the morning?
But why would he be right there? I mean, yeah, down the street there are some homes, but
There's nothing there. There's nothing there really.
there are some homes down the street.
Yeah, homes, but there's really nowhere to hang out inside. Just Applebee's or whatever.
Yeah, but I think Applebee's probably closed at 12, I would think.
Yeah. So what is he doing?
But again, let's go back to the point where I was saying it's really odd when they see young black kids with weapons. And don't get me wrong, you can kind of tell they look like they were under 18. What's the age to have a weapon in Illinois?
18 for shotguns and rifles.
But in Illinois,
20,
if you black,
21, you got to be handguns.
Handguns is how old? 21?
21.
And you could have a rifle at what age? 18?
18 shotguns and rifles.
Okay,
18.
so rifle would include a AK and an AR, right? Similar to.
I believe so. I'm not 100%
That's
sure.
right. That's still a rifle. They call it a rifle. For years,
Yes.
hunters been disputing, should you even have one? Why should you have that to hunt with? Not really doing the game any justice when you shoot it, if you plan to eat it But
Yeah, but
nevertheless, my question is, it just gave me a whole different depiction of, wait a minute, these young kids got all these weapons, but wait a minute, why are they just focusing on the young black kids? Because
yeah,
it's a
white kids do it too. They're in the farms,
do it, but
Indiana. They're on the farmland shooting stuff freely.
in Chicago, and I'm just saying, if someone has the rights to have it, that's one thing. If you give up your rights by breaking the laws the way you're using it, that's another thing. But we ain't gonna sit here and try to put color on a gun, And it's just weird because they started talking about, we need to have more tactical tanks to come up on these guys and get these guns from them.
What? Tentacle
Yeah,
tank. What is
yeah.
this? Nazi Germany? Have tanks?
I'm like, you never hear that. You see little white girls and little white boys shooting up the farmland and milk jugs and cans, all of that.
You see a crazy white guy shoot up a whole school.
Well, we ain't gonna even go to that one, Walter. That's the whole.
What? You're the one that brought it up.
No, I'm just saying. You explain that to me. I just don't understand that. Never did. That's been going on for over 30 years, almost 40 years now.
No, but when they get bullied, and then they
Um,
want postal. That's the whole thing. They want
that's
postal.
I remember when I was in high school, people had guns, but it was not that plentiful. It was not that many. There was usually the chief or the leader of the gang had a gun. And were there people shooting at people? Yeah. Did they come and shoot up in the school? Nah, that really never happened like that.
Because they
They
had
shoot.
more rules back then. Now they don't have no rules. Gang rules.
I just think it had a little bit more like temperament and focus, maybe.
Yeah, they
Because
had structure back then. They don't have rules now.
yeah, but there were still people. There was a lady called Lori Dance. She went into Winnetka and she just killed a whole bunch of kids. That was like the first time I heard of something like that. And that was in, it might have been in 84, 83, 82, something, I don't know. But it was just like, wow, she just went in school and shot up all this. I mean, back in the day, say people going to the post office, they don't under so much pressure, they go postal, right? That was kind of, you kind of seen it and you knew it, but you would hear it. And then when I saw that Lori Dance situation in the 80s, I'm like, wow, he's going to school and kill up kids? What the heck is going on with that? But
That was a big thing.
it just tells you the level of temperament and stability. I look at these things they call First Amendment auditors, where people go out in front of the post office and they have their cameras out. And they go into the postal facility and all these white people just lose it. Ah! He's taking my picture. He's taking my picture. And it's like, but there are cameras in the post office. They're taking your picture. The cameras on the car. There are other people taking pictures, outside of the flowers with the kids standing by the flowers. And you happen to be in the picture or the video. And they lose it. And I just don't understand how the level of, entitlement, because they don't want to believe that the Constitution allows people, and these people come out and they say, I'm doing a story. And I'm the free press. I'm creating a story and content based on everything I see. And people call the police. Oh God, he took my image. He got to give me a waiver saying that I allow. And it's like, no.
Yeah, that's some crazy stuff.
But it just shows you the level of temperament where people lose it over that you're taking their picture. And then just to look at how this happens, most of these auditors, they typically are white guys. But there are a few black guys and Hispanic guys that do it. I notice when the black guys do it, they get locked up. The cops come, they don't even, and they know they're like, hey, I can't have my camera out here and take pictures on the sidewalk. Well, no, you're suspicious. He's like, but that's not a crime. It's
Oh yeah, I
suspicious.
seen that guy. He went
Yeah,
into the forest preserve HHQ. It was all posted all over the internet. I mean, that's your freedom of your speech, freedom of speech. I mean, they got all these people got some kind of professional jobs. They
But
should,
that freedom of speech is very subjective. If it was a white person doing it, cussing people out and doing all kind of bad stuff, it doesn't raise as much fuss as if a black person do it. If a black person do it, oh, he's hostile, he's a danger, he's this, he's that. But I see it all the time. White people come out and say stupid stuff on the internet,
hmm
but
I
they're
was
not.
I was on the radio. I said shit on the radio. They said, "Oh yeah, the FCC is gonna find us." I'm like, first you told me there's freedom of speech, but I said S word on the radio. Oh my God, that's a big thing now. So
that's
they're just
always,
covering their bases.
it's always been like that. They just,
Yeah, but I hear other people say the A word as other words, but I said that word. What are they talking about, these guys?
I,
So there is no freedom of speech. Some things, like on this platform, you can say whatever, or podcast, they're open minded. You can say stuff, but there's FCC rules uh, with it. You know, you can't say certain words like on the
and,
air.
and then there's certain things you can't say on certain internet channels, not channels.
That's true. You can't say
Say
certain
murder.
words. That's like a red flag. You can't.
Yeah, it's like people want, I don't know, crazy. But
No, you can't say certain words together, like K with the P, kill somebody on the internet or something.
right,
Because what that's like a red flag.
I
It's a
guess.
red flag. Even that one guy got busted, white guy. He was talking trash to all these politicians. Then what they locked him up.
Well, I don't know. That's a little different. I don't know if you're threatening a political entity. That's a little different.
Yeah, it
What?
doesn't matter, Republican or Democrat.
No, no.
You threaten their lives. You're a
Political,
politician.
right.
No.
Anybody's life should be jurisdiction for arrest or at least detained to figure out what's going on. But you know, what's a threat though? What is considered a threat? That's
If
subjective.
he says it too many times, like I was working at the airport, we got scripts to say if certain people call in for different bomb threats. We got to make sure what language are they using. Is it foreign language? This language is weird how everything is right now. So you got to take every single thing as like a threat, pretty much. Every single phone call, because look what's happening right now.
I guess, but I mean, there's still protocol. You could just follow the protocol instead of getting outside of doing ridiculous things like, oh wow, the guy has a COVID mask on and he's got a camera in his hand. He's a threat. I mean, come on.
Okay, you know what I was at? You know how the banks have rules you can't wear a mask in, like a mask in banks, and then during COVID, everybody's wearing masks inside a bank.
Okay. Yeah. I
Isn't
mean,
that nuts?
Yeah, but come on, that was then. If you
Yeah, but they had bulletproof vests. They had all bulletproof windows, so you can't. And then the people behind the wall wearing masks too. It's weird.
not really, because we know who they are. You can always just
Yeah,
get
but
a you can get a
it's
check
strange.
on who that person is. A
It
random person
was.
on the street into a bank with a mask on, that would be a little stupid to do unless you seriously look like you sick or you're on a respirator or something. You know,
Yeah,
what
but
you want
I see still people wearing masks to this day in their
going to a bank,
car. Hmm?
going into inside of a bank?
No, no, out on the street, walking up and down the street, wearing masks, in their car wearing masks,
And they're keeping their germs to themselves. So I'm cool with that.
in the stores. Like, it's weird. It's
That's
just
what
so
the mask,
weird.
you know that, right?
Hmm?
The mask is to keep your germs to yourself.
You're actually breathing in your own carbon dioxide.
Well, not enough to hurt
I
you. But
mean, how do you
the
know?
masks are filtered to go one way, you know. But you got to
I'll
think
put a
about it.
mask. I'll put a mask on when it's cold outside. If you get that very deep, windy cold, then yeah, I'll probably put a mask on my chin or like around my neck.
Yeah,
If
you
it's a
talk
really, really deep cold, deep
you talk about
windy
just
out there.
and a mask walking into a bank is a little ridiculous unless you have an appointment. They know you coming. And you tell them you have to go in there because you got emphysema or whatever. I don't know. And you
Yes,
shouldn't be if you got a real contagious disease anyway. You shouldn't go out.
that's true. That's true.
But it happens. Let's just say that. So, staying on task, I don't know if anyone's seen the news or the headlines about Jerry Lewis, the guy that was killed, the 67-year-old that was killed on Madison and Levitt about 6 days ago.
He's in his 80s in Madison Street.
67, 67,
Yeah, he was a contractor.
correct.
Yes, yes. What I seen that like on the news.
Well, he's a good friend of mine and family. I've known his family for almost over 50 years, over 50 years. And
Yeah, but can I ask, why did they went for him, or they gunned him down for what? What was kind of reason?
I'll get to all of that. But yeah, so I just saw Jerry not last. I saw him the week prior, 2 weeks ago, at his mother's funeral, and they just buried their mother on I think it was Thursday of 2 weeks, 2 Thursdays ago, and it was a pretty sad situation because their whole family is gone, minus the two brothers, and I've known, like I said, the whole family. So here comes, I think it was Monday or I can't remember, or Tuesday. I get a call. It was Tuesday of last week saying that Jerry was murdered, and I'm like, how? He doesn't bother anyone. He's not that guy. He's the guy that always wants to help someone. If he has information, he'll show you and teach you. So I put it, a general diet type of guy, That's you, Walter, with the background.
Huh?
I thought that was you with the background. So long
No.
short, I've known Jerry. Actually, Jerry was an engineer. He's the first guy that got me into engineering, and I was about 15 years old. And he was working in the field, and real cool guy, always out there to help people. And I think that's what brought his murder upon, that happened, the murder that happened, he was helping somebody. I honestly believe that. It's just unfortunate that the policemen saw it happen, and they were 8 seconds, short of stopping these guys. But he went out. They say he went outside to get his mail and was about to go to lunch or something. And they came up behind him. They had been waiting on him and shot him in the head, in the back of the head. And then the other guy shot him 3-4 more times or something in the back or wherever. I don't know. But yeah, didn't live in the city. He was working on a project, helping people get their stuff together for this big project down by the United Center. He was doing trainings and had been in construction and contracting for construction for some years now. And then this happens when he literally was out trying to help someone, Been married for over 40 years, one son, and he has about almost 10 grandkids. But great guy, man. Played football, wrestled, baseball, which is hard to do, to play all of those in a row, but he did them all in high school, and I think he did some in college also. And families really hurt over this. They're down to one sibling, just one person, and that's the brother that I went to high school with. And he used to come back and coach us, when we were in high school. And again, like I said, he was like the go-to guy when I became interested in engineering back in like 1980, 79, 80. And he was the go-to guy. The teacher at our school said, "Hey, go see Jerry. He's working as an engineer. He'll tell you the ins and outs. Go to this school, do these things, learn this." And it's an unfortunate situation for a lot of people. That's all I can say is it was a senseless, dumb act that hurt many, many people in more ways than one. Also, I wanted to say, because there are many people out here, one of the ladies that been working with a friend of ours, friend to Chantel, and many of us that worked on the campaign for Chantel, she lost her sister today. Joanne lost her sister Diane today. She had been in the hospital for some time, but trying to struggle through some things. And
How old was she?
Diane, I don't know. Diane was a little younger than Joanne. Joanne, Tiny, you know them, right?
Yeah, I know Joanne. I really didn't know her sister, but I knew she had went down to Memphis or something to see her. So
yeah, but she had been in. I don't think she wasn't a young person. I've seen her a couple of times, but she, I don't know, could be 60 something now. Because Joanne's got to be close to what, 72?
yeah, about that.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. So, condolences to those that lost their lives just recently. So many people, but nevertheless, what you say there, Miss Jacobs?
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey,
how did everything go the other day?
That's good.
Okay, that's good. What you say, Crystal? How you been? Crystal.
Hey, how y'all doing?
All right.
Hey, Steve. Yeah, I'm doing good. I went to that meeting the other day, the Tyler Farrell's monthly meeting. that was at the church on I think that was Wednesday, and it was the last meeting where they talked about the new housing, the
Oh,
new
what? Okay.
the new housing at the Laramie State Bank.
Yeah.
I went to that meeting on Wednesday, and
Look,
so so I could, well, I know other people who had gone, but I wanted to hear for myself how it worked, right? And so the Laramie, the Laramie Bank project, they're gonna start sending out emails starting in April to the people who have attended the meetings. And so, because they'll get first option to apply for the apartments, they plan on the move-in dates will be sometime in June, by the end of June.
okay.
And so Athena Williams, from Oak Park Regional Housing, actually gave a meeting, and so she said altogether, I think she said about 900 people registered for those meetings over the last few months,
Uh-huh.
but she said only about somewhere around 450 people showed up for the meetings.
Okay.
So when you're at the meetings, they actually have you fill out a sheet. And so they doing, of course, um, two things. So people who come to the meetings, if they have questions about, say they credit score, they can go into Oak Park Regional offices over on South Boulevard or either Lake Street, right there by Larry Williams' office, and get a soft pull on their credit score. First of all, because applying for an apartment, they are going to do a credit check. And
Okay.
and so they also talked about the thing that people will need when they fill out for the apartments. They'll need an original Social Security card. So all of these things was why they were holding the meetings too, so people will be prepared to apply. Because once the emails go out, people only have 48 hours to apply
Right.
before it goes out to the general public.
My
Okay.
question, my
hmm
question is, why is Teleferro over there at the Laramie Street Bank? That's not his ward. I'm confused.
Well, first of all, the meeting was in his ward over, on Austin. Okay, so that's where the meeting was. So, and as the aldermen, they helping everybody, right? So yeah, that's not his ward where the apartments are, but I'm sure some of his people in his ward are they need apartments too, right?
Yeah,
So,
I would have thought he would have been talking about the apartments that's already in his ward and the ones he's trying to get in his ward.
well, the thing is, by those being brand new, like we say, information is everything. And that's the problem a big time with our communities too, right? It can't be segmented like that. If it's 78 new apartments, that's funded by HUD and whoever else that give people an opportunity. Yeah, it's not segmented by ward, and because Oak Park Regional Housing been doing those meetings all over the West Side. So
Right.
so it's just about making sure people have the opportunity to apply, because although it seemed like a lot, 78 apartments ain't a lot, right?
Not when
When
100 people applied.
exactly. But and then having the information to know how to apply. So if you need an original Social Security card, I mean, hey, I'm not applying, and I had to think, dang, where's my original card? You see? So that was the thing. So they wanted people to know, apply for that stuff now. If you plan on um submitting for this, come see us and get a soft pull on your credit report. Okay? To make sure you in position, because you may have something on your credit report you don't even know is there. And
Right.
and they may be able to help you, because they help people also get things straightened out too. So those were the points that she brought up, because
More, it was
hmm,
more or less tied with Oak Park House.
what'd you
That
say?
it was more or less tied with Oak Park House, regional house, than just talking about, here's some available apartments. Because again, I know for sure there's almost 300 some apartments that's in his ward that he's not even. I mean, get people prepared now to do it. He could have put out the call. Hey, by the way, we got another 300 apartments
I
right
mean,
here.
300 apartments. I mean, 300 new apartments, or the existing apartments.
They're new. They should. When are they gonna be finished with those? Walter? Oh, he's gone. But I'm sure they're gonna be finished by the spring. They've been working on them for.
Are you talking about those apartments on North Avenue
Correct.
that are $3,000?
Woo!
So,
What?
so all I'm saying is those aren't affordable, right?
They
So,
don't have.
so yeah, those. I mean, as far as I heard, they're not. So they're market rate. So whatever that is. And so these apartments being partially funded by HUD or funded by HUD, people can get up to a 3-bedroom apartment, for under regular market rates. Because what are people paying? I mean, at least I hear that people are paying around $1,500 to $2,000 for a 2-bedroom.
Woo!
Okay, market rate. But in this building, they can get a 2-bedroom for $1,000.
Right.
So that's the information. If you're a young person, or a couple, a single parent, or whatever, and you got a job, and you got clean credit, but you know you don't read the Austin Weekly or the Voice, or haven't been to, or don't even. I mean, and these are the things I heard from people
Right.
in the last few weeks. Oh, I see, and this is what people have told me. Oh, I see. I'm in Mitt's ward. I'm in Jason's ward. But when I see aldermen, I don't open up the email.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they don't even know what's going on in the community and stuff. And guess what? They may need an apartment. So, or whatever else, that's out here that the aldermen post. I mean, there's stuff, going on all over the west side, and that even events for youth, right? And
What church?
and that the aldermen post.
What church was it in? The meeting?
It's where he has his monthly meeting on 1101 South on Austin.
Oh, at on the island.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he has a meeting there, and then he has a meeting in Galewood. And
What bank is gonna be here on Laramie?
they haven't said yet, because right now they're finishing the apartments. And so once the apartments all the people have moved in. I think she said like August they're gonna start the construction on the bank, because they haven't even started refurbishing the bank yet. They've been working just on the apartments,
Right.
building the new building. And so
Oh,
yeah,
so
so
they haven't decided. They haven't decided what bank was gonna come in.
She didn't mention it anything about the bank building at all.
Okay.
Other than that fact that they're gonna start working on it in August, and then they plan on it being open by the following year. Because
Right.
they do have the renditions of what's going to be in the bank, but she didn't say what. I know it was several banks, from going to meetings in the past that were in talks to have a bank in there, and they may know. You probably could just look at the website, I guess, and see if they have a commitment from a bank.
But you know, Wintrust is right down the street there at that new place, right down the street.
Wintrust, where?
Right there in Chicago, a block, well, I think it's Chicago and Leamington, at that new place they just built.
I don't know where that is.
Yes, it is, right on Chicago and Leamington.
Right
Uh,
across from, right across from West Side Health Authority's office.
Yeah.
a Wintrust?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Wintrust is there.
well, my office is on Chicago and Laverne. Okay, and so Westside Health Authority. I'm on the 4900 block. The new building they building for that hospital for Lori's.
Right.
Okay, so you're saying there's a Wintrust right in that block?
Yeah. And that new building they built there. They built in there. Built.
Oh well,
Yeah.
it ain't finished yet, so maybe it's gonna be in there. Is that what you're
No,
saying?
it is. I talked to the young man that's advocating for the bank. Yeah, Wintrust is in there.
But the building ain't finished yet. I
Well,
guess
that's what
that's
he.
why I'm confused. Yeah, because the building they still constructing it.
Well, okay. What I'm saying is the bank Wintrust is there. That's where the Wintrust Bank gonna be in there.
Okay. I see. It's gonna be okay. Yeah, because see, all the one I know that's open is that PNC that's
Oh yeah, down at
by
the
40
store.
acres, right?
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so I yeah. So other than that, yeah, that um yeah, because I'm on Chicago Avenue every day, so that's why I was like, Wintrust, where at? That's why I was asking that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's gonna be in there once they open. Okay,
Yes. Uh-huh.
okay,
Yes.
so yeah,
Mhm.
so I don't know. I know in the past when like before they started construction on the apartments at Laramie Bank, they were saying, they were in talks with they were even in talks with credit unions and stuff. So I don't know if they made a decision on that. The main thing for these meetings, because see, by this being the last information session that they're doing, they just want to make sure, people have, all the information they need. And they still running, I guess they running ads in like the Austin Weekly and the Voice and and then I think well, I know the chamber put it on our newsletter and stuff like that. And actually I'm gonna what Athena's gonna be, because we do the chamber does because I'm still the board president of the Austin Chamber. So they gonna we do a meeting. I think it's the third it's the fourth Tuesday of the month, where we have guest speakers on. And so this month we had CTA as the guest speaker on the Zoom. And so CTA talked about, registering as a minority business
Right.
and being able to apply for contracts. And then CTA also, they have a event well, in April over at I think it's called the JLM Center,
Right.
where CTA will be there, and they will be, helping small business get registered as minority, getting their paperwork filled out for the minority certification. And then they'll have other people there talking about, whatever your field is, right? Had to go to the website and and look for contracts and things like that. But Athena Williams, she's gonna be on the chamber Zoom for April, talking about those apartments. Because by the time she comes on at the middle of April, the applications probably will be going out for the apartments. I think somewhere around the end of April.
Right. Okay. And how many apartments again? You say 79 or what?
I think it's 78. So it's 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. So they had it broken down. I don't have the paper here with me, but they, have a certain number of, each size unit. And
Right.
and then different guidelines they're gonna have in there, like the downstairs, that outside is gonna be a commercial space to the building, so it's gonna be a courtyard where they'll have with seating and music, and in the evenings they're gonna have um a rooftop garden.
Right.
That's strictly for the residents um, that live in the building. Each floor is gonna have a floor captain, to keep the units, make sure everything stays cohesive, and then then there's no smoking in the building. So if you can't live there if you smoke, okay? uh, and um, and they're gonna have smoking sensors out, in the building. And wait, the building gonna be like a cruise ship, okay? On a cruise you can't smoke, right? And
Uh,
so no smoking. Let's see, what else did she say? But they're gonna have, like a community room. I think she said it's gonna be on the 5th floor, so they'll have different events there, workshops, free workshops, things like that for the residents.
right.
And yeah, so it looks like it's, and then I think people pay for, I think, electric, but you don't pay for gas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so no gas charges. And so yeah,
So
but I
does
mean,
it, does it go by your income?
yes. Well, it's HUD. So Section 8 and HUD is two different things. So the thing is, if people already have Section 8, they can, of course, still apply for an apartment there with their Section 8 that they already got. But HUD is just a flat rate. So HUD guidelines are like 1 bedrooms, no matter, well, the bottom line, your income can't be more than 50, I think she said 51,000 a year. And but they do have market rates also. So if your income is more than 51,000, you won't qualify for the deductions of, like the reduced rents. Because I think 1 bedroom is $800, and I'm just shooting this off because I don't have the paper in front of me. But 1 bedroom is $800, 2 bedrooms 1,000, and then I think a 3 bedroom is something like 1,200. And so in
That's not
market
bad.
rate, 2 bedroom, I mean, yeah, 2 bedrooms will cost you up to 2 grand, okay?
Yeah,
In
yeah.
today's world. So if you can get a 2 bedroom for $1,000, you know, and you're a moderate income person, that's a good deal.
Yes, it is.
And
There are actually some other apartment buildings down Chicago Avenue on the other side of Pulaski. There's
mhm,
looks like two other large construction projects. One on
mhm,
Chicago and another one on Central Park, Chicago Avenue.
mhm. So there's a lot of different projects going up, but like I say, I know, well, I talked to somebody about that North Avenue one. Yeah, they told me those apartments were like 3 grand. Okay, so yeah, so I don't know if I have not heard, and I asked Talaferro, but nobody has said that those have any type of subsidies for people. It's a huge building. Well, it's two huge buildings on North Avenue. Is that one across from the piece? What's that? The almost at Oak Park Avenue.
Right.
That apartment building has been there a couple of years now.
And that's partially fields. It's not. I think it's 50% fields, something like that.
Okay, yeah, because it's market rent. And then then that new one near Harlem, which is huge, and that's the one I'm talking about. So, and I think whoever it was, they said I think they were looking at a 2-bedroom and it was $3,000. Okay, so that ain't affordable.
Yeah, but so my question is, why are they building all of these if they're not, making them affordable?
Well,
They claim,
those are private contractors. I guess, that's a question for Talaferro, right?
yeah,
And see, and that's what Oak Park Regional Housing, they're, and what Athena, being, well, she way before she was the executive director, she worked there, her goal was to help, you know, uh, other minorities learn that there's help out here. You don't have to have garnishments on your paycheck or you got certain blemishes on your credit. They have services there that they help people free of charge to negotiate that stuff, get it off. Even if and she told me this the other day, even if, because I knew somebody I had invited that had a blemish because they car got totaled. Okay, and then the car got totaled, and evidently she owed it was a young person. She owed a note on it, right? So of course that's on her credit report. And so Athena told me, well, she talked to her comp, they people were there too, okay, helping people, right? But what she said was, even though that's there, they could, negotiate that with that company. That's number one, to lower whatever she does owe them. Okay. And then if it's still not, and get her a payment plan, right? So she could pay it, whatever, the negotiated part. And she said it may not help her in time to get these new apartments, right? But by them being the Oak Park Regional Housing, they have contracts with private owners, okay? And they could still help that young person get an apartment. You see, whereas now every place she looks, they're like, your credit is bad. No, you can't, you know, yeah, of course they not taking no applications from her at all. Okay. And but they could still, that's what they do over there. It's multiple things they do. This ain't a Oak Park versus Austin, Oak Park versus nobody, right? This is about just helping people who are distressed. Okay. And that's what all this is about. People that are distressed, get some sound advice, is what, as I call it, instead of listening to Pookie across the alley, around the corner, down the street, just telling them, read this book. Oh yeah, well, I know somebody that'll take that off your credit, and they basically steal their money, right? Because it don't exist. They can't take nothing off your credit, okay? And things like that. So it's really helping people get sound advice. And then the fact also, like this new building, this whole project, and just call it the project period, it's about a pathway to home ownership. Anybody know how much houses are going for on the west side?
yeah,
400,000 and more, okay?
yeah.
Over
But
$400,000, okay?
but how? Okay, wait a minute now. Now I have a couple of warehouses. How can a person buy a house even if he's working, he only making $1,600. $16 an hour. Now, how can he afford a house? Come on now. These are warehouses on the west side.
And see, that's the thing about all these other programs. Now, this is a separate thing. All these programs helping folks get reskilled, right? Get new trades where they can make more money. Because of course that's ridiculous, right, Miss Jacob? They can't afford no house if they only
No,
making
no,
$16 an hour. It is not possible. But
no.
this is what all these other programs are for, is helping people get retrained so they can become better employed, and so they can make 30, 50, $75 an hour.
Yep,
Okay,
that's
now,
right,
we
right.
talking, right? And
Okay,
so guess
okay,
what? We got all those programs are here right now on the west side,
okay.
you see. So it's a
But
collaboration.
now wait a minute. Another thing,
Mhm,
now they have on the application, do you have a felony? Have you been convicted? They
okay.
had taken that off some years ago. Now
Mhm.
they got it back on there. So that's a blocker now. Listen, I just had a guy the other week. He said, "Well, they got on there. Have you been convicted? Or are you a felony?" No, they're not supposed to ask that. Now they can ask you once you come in for an interview, then you can tell them what the situation was. But they got it on the application. It's a block for our people. It's a block.
But see, this is the thing, and this is something, and I'm gonna tell you, I learned this that day at that housing meeting. Because guess what? It's on housing applications also. Okay. And so, but this is what she said. That question is on there. Okay. And no, what did she say? Yeah, the question is on there, but they cannot stop you from, they can't discriminate against you, because guess what, when once they interview you, right, because it's going to be an interview, and this is whether it's a job or whatever, okay, then that's when the other part takes place, right? They
Right. I
still will
understand.
get an interview, you see. So
I
it's not
understand.
it's not
Listen,
going to stop them, no.
no, listen. I understand what you're saying. And I have experienced this from week before last. Young man went and filled out an application. Well, he came to me and filled out an application at Freeman Seating.
Mm-hmm.
He did everything he was supposed to have done.
Mm-hmm.
They emailed him back and said, "We cannot accept your application." Why? They didn't give no reason why. But I knew he was a felony. But that's how they play you. I know this.
But this is
So
the
now we got
thing.
to find out, okay, well, why you
Yeah,
didn't, you
yes.
got to let him know why you didn't hire him.
Exactly. And that's why I'm saying, I mean, so the next step is, if you helping them get a job, who do you go talk to about that? You see?
Well, see, that's where we have to come in and get to the company and
Exactly.
see what
That's
is
right.
the problem here.
That's right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's another step here,
Yeah,
that all of a sudden, if it wasn't there and that is there, why did y'all put it back? You see?
right.
So who's gonna go talk to them about that? Are you going to talk to them? Or are you getting ready to call the alderman to go talk to them? Are you going to call Danny Davis to go talk to him? You see? Because I mean, which is a big initiative of his is making sure felons get jobs, right?
Yeah.
So what's the next step? You see? So it ain't okay, I'm sorry, young man, you can't. Because guess what, I done had people walk in my office and they got felonies, and I sent them right over there to Austin Coming Together, okay? And guess what happened? I get calls back saying, "Thank you, Miss Dyer. Oh, they got my grandson a job and he making $25 an hour." You see? So somebody
Okay.
hiring somebody with felons. I
Okay.
don't
Well,
know the
that's
process because
good.
that's not my wheelhouse, right? All I
Right,
do
right,
is refer people out to places where I know they can help them, right?
right. That's
So just
true.
to
You're
let
right.
you know that, so if that happened to that young man, okay, well, what's the next step? Miss Jacob, what we gonna do about Freeman seating? This is a real conversation right here, right? So we can
Right.
find out why they put that back on that application, because there's an answer.
That's
Right.
Yes,
Hold
it is.
on. Dr. Orr had her hand up for about
Mm-hmm.
5 seconds. You got
Mm-hmm.
a response.
Hey guys, how y'all doing today?
Hey, great,
Hello.
great.
Hey, so really, what I hear everybody's point. I hear your point. First of all, I hear your point, Miss Jacobs. But the big issue is that these initiatives are in our communities, and our communities are riddled, or not even riddled, contains layered of people, people with backgrounds, people with low credit scores, people with other challenges, other social determinants and social challenges. We don't, so these people that are in our community should also be a part of the decision making process as far as what standards or what requirements should be set for apartments, for jobs, for this, for that. If anybody's in our communities should set the standards. But instead of that, we have big corporations, big initiatives, all kind of people come in our communities, tell us what the standards are and should be,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then we have to scramble to
yeah.
comply with those standards that does not even serve our communities.
That's
That's
true.
that's where I think the bigger picture is because we can go around in circles with Ray Ray or Pookie or anybody or myself who may have a background, who may have
Yeah,
credit issues, who
yeah.
may have dyslexia, who may have social determinants or be homeless, whatever
Mm-hmm.
the case is.
Mm-hmm.
This is what our communities look like. So the question is, why is it that our people, the people who actually live there, are not setting the standards for what should happen in these processes? That's what I'm proposing to us, because at some level, we have to figure out how to go beyond complying to somebody else's standards.
And that's why, hopefully, if it's the Lord's will, we supposed to have a meeting at the table with LaShawn Ford.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, because
no,
that's what we need. Yeah,
no,
that's what we
no.
need.
This thing now is the people movement for a change.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We gonna sit at the table and we have
Mm-hmm.
to bring our own chair.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because these are, just like you just said, these are the issues in our community.
Right.
And everybody just sitting back. Well, it's not my child. Well, yeah, child, they sure said that over there today. I know he wasn't gonna get no job because I know he had a record. But no, we gonna make a move on it. And one thing about it, we're gonna make that move. At least we try. If we don't succeed, at least we're gonna try.
Right. I commend all of the people who are really making efforts to bring different resources to our community, but we also have to look beyond resources. One thing about us, we bring the resources, and as a condition for us getting the resources, we sing other people's songs concerning us. We
Yeah.
allow other people to lay things on top. And don't get me wrong, I've met with presidents, I've been with presidents, I've said policy. The thing you said, Danny Davis passed, I was a part of that, absolutely. And that was great. It's really needed for our communities. But also, we have to go beyond just trying to go and fight for our rights outside of our communities, and we should. There's a point of accountability. You said you was going to do this for the community. You said you stand for this
Right,
for the
right,
community.
right.
How does that work? And where does that come in? And when does that, how do we do that
That's
together?
right.
Because
Well,
sometimes the people
this is
who,
where we got to start
yeah,
making
yep,
them accountable. See, we can sit back and talk about it all day and
yep,
all night,
yes, ma'am,
but
yep,
we got to come up and we got to bring them to the table and we got to sit down and we want this done. And we have a certain time. We want to see some progress. We want to see what you can do, see what you're working with. Oh,
Right.
A lot of
Right.
times
Yeah.
we get
Exactly.
behind the
Yeah.
ball. We behind the ball on this,
Yeah. Because
yeah,
But
this
we
is
all doing great
right.
things,
Mm-hmm.
It's just we just get behind the ball on all of this stuff, and we try to
You know,
figure it out for our people.
one of the
yeah.
biggest problems is when Ms. Jacobs says, bringing your seat to the table. The question is, which table are you eating at? Are you eating at the state table,
Man,
the lobster table, the seats, all of that? Because all of these elected officials don't have the authority to do many of these things.
true.
That's
You know,
right. That's right.
which ones have, like Chris just said, Chris ain't just the alderman for the 29th Ward when it comes to resources for people all over. He's the alderman to help people all over, you know,
Right.
get resources. So this is what we need to know. What is your job? What do you really do?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now,
And what can you do? If you can't do it, let us know now. You know,
right,
we can move on to somebody else.
Mhm.
right.
True.
But you know what I've been a big advocate for? Forget what table you sitting at. Put them all in the same room and then make them put that table together where you all sit at it. Because now they can communicate with each other and say, okay, well, that's not in your wheelhouse, but I'll help you with that, or I will do that as a congressman, or I will do this as a alderman, I would do this as a commissioner, or I would do this as a state rep, or state senator, or senator. No one, everybody around is just like, we're going to call Danny Davis. Really? Danny trying to call this stuff a retirement right now. You know?
I know
Right?
that's right. Daddy
I
is
ain't mad at
definitely
him. He
retired.
done served
But
for
you know,
years.
and I was just saying, you know, because I mean, you know, I've been on the avenue a long time now, and
Yeah.
I've had great success over the years with people who are felon. And that, like I said, that ain't my wheelhouse is kids, right? And so, but people, of course, share all kind of, you know, problems and worries and needs with me, right? And
Right.
you know, over the years, I've had great success with, you know, because Austin coming together, a lot of people, I don't know if they know that or used it or whatever. I've sent plenty of folk, they always had a job services department. And every felon I sent over there got a job. Okay. Now, you know, I don't, you know, I know they do evaluations, they do all kind of stuff, but they had, this is even, you know, way before they moved into the Aspire Center, and that whole project wasn't even born, right? Or even envisioned and things like that, you know, because they had partnerships, right? Partnerships with the people to get them jobs,
Right.
okay? And stuff like that. And so that's the, you know, like the little known Austin fact, right? And things like that is like we always say about a door and a window opening and so on and so forth, right? And stuff, you know, so that's back to our collaborations with each other, and then also knowing, you know, that we can count on each other. See, a lot of things, you know, I mean, let's just face it. I think Reverend Epstein did a meeting like this last month when he did the faith base, and he said, I didn't go to the meeting, I wasn't there, but somebody told me, he said, first of all, most of y'all don't even like each other. Okay, you know, won't call on each other. Now here we
Say
are on
what
this
you saying.
call, all this on this call, God knows however many years, right? And then,
Say
but if
what you saying.
somebody needs something, you know,
Yep.
my phone don't ring. Miss Jacob, does your phone ring? I ain't never called you for nothing. You see, I'm just going back with myself. You see, and stuff, you know, and so on and so forth. Steve, you know, has who's called you, you see, and so on and so. I mean, so is this call just going around in an empty circle? You know, that we don't know we can contact each other. Okay, what do you do, Miss Jacob? What do you do, Dr. Orr? What do you do? You know, everybody that's on here. So we know we got a database if we got a question, right? We
Right.
just got a question that we
Right.
can call, and then your wheelhouse know where to direct us. You see,
Yep.
and that's how I was with all those other organizations, the Bills and the West Side and the Austin coming together. I was in their wheelhouse and stuff, so I learned you know, and I was in Oak Park Regional Housing. You know, I found out what they have, right? What they have, you know, and then when so whoever walks up to me, wherever they come from, okay? They can come from the south suburbs, okay? And they say, I need this. I know somebody I can call that can take that one step further for them. So what do we have in this call with, you know, with the North Austin Council, you see, where we can, you know, we can help each other other
Well,
than just come on Sundays and then say bye.
this is one thing I always tell people. It's always about relationships. And then to your question, or your statement, Crystal, everybody asked Steve. Everybody asked Steve. Everybody on here has asked Steve, and I have given guidance or helped them. But that's where things get dropped. You know, the relationship factor. You know, I tell everybody everything is about relationship, good, bad, and my idea is, you know, let's make good relationships if they're bad. Let's make them even better if they're already okay. I can go through every person on here and say, you know, at one point or another, we have done something to help somebody, or, you know, together or by reference or by connecting. And that's the key. I just find that, you know, everybody's got different opinions. That ain't no big deal. I don't have any problem. I don't have any problem with different opinions.
Right.
But what we ain't going to do is lie and try to, it's the truth. Opinion is your opinion, but we're not going to sit here and lie and say, oh, it's the fact. It's the truth. So, we like Walter. I mean, if I know Walter's Republican. I know Walter ran for Secretary of State. I know Walter aspires for other things, but I do know Walter knows certain people and knows certain things. So I can always go and refer to him for things that pertain to the northwest corner of the city. You know, but give me the real deal. Barry, same. You know, Barry has his time exchange and Peachbrook collaboration, and I know the people that show up there and what their expectations are. So you always try to connect, if I want to say that, because guess what? Austin coming together, the Bills, they kind of focus. You know, they really are. You know, I'm just gonna put it like that. They're focused, and that's their wheelhouse.
Right.
But it never. A lot of times, what I always hear from people in the neighborhoods is like, "What do? What can they help you? How can?" I'm like, "Well, this is where you go see this person." They have no clue what, when, and why, or how they can affect their lives, and that's where I think they just don't organize. You know, they don't.
Well, that's where we come in too, because like I say, I didn't send people over there for years, Steve, and people didn't get jobs. You see, did any of y'all know that? You see, did anybody on this call know that? I've got, I can say probably over 20, 30 people, you know, that got jobs that I sent over there. You see, so
But
I know that part, right?
I've had people come from Austin come together to meet for jobs. I've had people from Westside Health Authority came to meet for jobs. But I'm just saying.
Yeah. So it's like, it's not like one is bad and one is good. Everything is good if we can help people, right? So that's all I'm saying. You know, all of it's good. You know, that's I think the downfall. We go into that. Well, this one is bad, or this one is less than, and this one is more than. No, we just all need to work together. Period.
Well, the reason I said the comment I had earlier is I said it because we and people ain't gonna like this, but I'm gonna say it. We did better as a people in segregation. And nobody likes to hear that, but the truth of the matter is we were able to build our families, our communities, our wealth, and we did it together because we were able to rely on one another. We were able to tap into the resources and the skill sets of each other. That is not necessarily the case anymore. She said it. She said Pastor Epstein's like, yeah, people on this call don't even like each other. How is that we have that choice when we are at the bottom of every totem pole socially and economically?
Right.
So I said that because, yep, all this stuff is good, fine, perfect, but does it really build us up? Now, I'm not a proponent for us to go back to segregation at all, not at all, because we are human beings and we have the same rights as any other human on this planet. But the thing we did do well was we leveraged our relationships and we leveraged each other. We had respect for one another and what we brought to the table. Now, we so busy doing big eyes, little U's, rubbing elbows with the big eyes that we can't see how we co-opt and sell each other out for chicken change. James Brown was in his time and even before his time because it's still the same.
Oh,
Well,
sure. Yeah, so sure. I
Yeah,
mean,
we
well,
that's
sell,
all true.
we sell it. Even all these politicians, they sell us out. They sell us
well,
out.
well, where I
Yep.
was going with it all is basically, again, relationship. Obviously,
Right.
Crystal bring a better relationship with those entities than people that's been around them for 40 years, like me. And for whatever reason, I don't have those relationships with people that like a Darnell Shields that's been around me for almost 40 years. I don't have those kind of relationships with the Jackie Reed that's been around me for almost 40 years. But I know who to go to now. I go to Crystal when I need something from them that have known me for almost 40 years through this
Yep.
organization. Because again, it's about relationships. I've done nothing to them in a negative manner to oppose what they're doing. All I'm saying is I get caught on the opposition for some odd reason when it's a big, I ain't gonna say Bill, because I do know people at Bill that's in charge too, but we have somewhat of a good relationship. But the other entities that I've known since I came to NAC when I was 26 years old, and Darnell was probably 14, that knew me and knew the organization, we don't have that kind of relationship, and we live down the alley from each other. So I don't know what it is. You know, Pastor Epstein was right. There is some kind of thing where people just don't get along, and it could be because they're too inundated with what they're doing, and they don't care about the other people, and they don't come into their into their spectrum, or they just don't like them for whatever reason. I don't know.
It may be self-hate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
Let me tell y'all something I just read a few days ago. Okay, and this is, like in the spectrum of, of community service and partnerships or collaborations, in the nonprofit world, grants are going away. You see, and we're gonna go back. So I'm gonna go back to what Dr. Orr just said about segregation and how we work together.
Right.
Basically, at this point in time, and going into the future, we need to find a way to work better. This is a whole lesson, right?
Yep.
On working together. You see, because we are definitely. I mean, I depend on a lot of people. Okay, a lot of people depend on me, and I make it a fact to go out and talk to people and relate to people. Because if I treat you like you my brother and my sister, okay, and my mother and my auntie and my grandma, you see, then there's no division, right? Okay, Dr. Orr, create us a course, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm ready.
So,
It ain't just a course, because I'm gonna move. You're gonna get in the course, but you're gonna
mhm.
take action.
Right,
Because
exactly.
we've
And
been
that's the
doing this
piece
a
right
long time.
there.
Ain't that right,
We
Miss E? We've
got
been doing
to.
this.
We have
Right.
no choice if we are going to survive as a culture, okay? Or if we're going to survive in, what, our mission is.
Yes.
We all say our mission is to help each other, but then half of us won't talk to cousin Bobo, okay? Okay, so come on now.
I think one thing we better do quick, and we better do it very fast, is we need to start really focusing on the younger people, because guess what? If we don't do it and teach them to come together and give them the blueprint, it's a wrap. It's a
And
wrap.
that's the point.
Right.
That's the point right there, Steve. Because see,
Right.
and that's what I've been saying for years now. We are, we are their mentors, right? And then they see us not getting along. You see, so what is
Yep.
that doing for them?
Yeah.
We
Yep.
we in the rooms talking about each other or
Ooh,
somewhere
and they
in
watching it. They watch.
proximity to some child, and then they hearing, oh, grandma talking about the preacher, grandma talking about Miss So and So next door, grandma
Yep.
talking about the lady that just dropped off the box of fruit. I mean, come on, we have got to rebuild ourselves so we can and so we can help the kids, okay? Because we
Yeah,
gonna be gone, okay?
we
Yep.
have to do that, but we also shouldn't send our kids into the lion's mouth. into the lion's den. You know, you got to educate them enough to understand that, you know, where you going and who you dealing with, who they are, and what they're gonna do.
Oh, sure, right, exactly. That's the whole point. Because I mean, the thing about, one thing we know, adult bullying has always existed, right? Whether you in the workplace or you next, whoever it is, right? Talking
Right.
down, disregarding, and it don't matter your education level and what you got. People, you just got those people that are gonna do that. So of course we got to teach the youth how to look at different scenarios and be able to cope. Because I mean, let's face it, that's why nowadays, in some of these other situations of, young people going to drugs because they can't cope. All this mental health stuff because they can't cope.
Yeah.
I'd like to hop into this conversation.
Go ahead.
I think you touched a whole bunch of different important points, and I think that the basic way that we can solve all these problems is to help each other and to value everyone, young, old, skilled, unskilled, and to enable people to help each other. And when I wasn't in Chicago during, I got here in 1980. I think it was 1980. And the times have really changed now. And instead of getting stuff at a corner shop, you get it online. So what I'm trying to say is that the culture is going down the tubes, prices are going up, and we need to value everyone and help each other. And the way to do it is to start using time currency to go beyond just incidental help and being kind to one another, to go beyond that in order to fix broken sockets, a broken light switch, to help grow stuff, whatever it is. There's so much that needs to be done. And I believe that we can really have a flourishing community if we move in that direction. And it doesn't take a whole lot of coordination. It just takes, like Steve was saying, relationships. If you have a relationship with your neighbors and someone needs help, or you're going for food, maybe you do some shopping for them and bring it back for them as well. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. And as people do things for each other, it draws them closer together. They get to know each other better. And it's just a natural process. And the way to start it is in this meeting, everybody who participates in this meeting, all of us, we donate 5 minutes of time to either Steve or Northwest Austin Council. And that means the following month, we've got to help someone for 5 minutes. And so we begin the process of one person helping another who helps another, and rippling out, and getting the organizations to do it as well. And once we do that, we have a new currency that if you don't have enough dollars, you still have a means of getting and giving what you need.
Right. Well, I mean, again, Barry, it's all based on relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can only try. That's all you can do. Just
Well,
try.
you know what? I think this
No,
is something we need to stop trying and just start doing it. I think that's a great
yeah,
idea,
right.
Barry, actually,
Are
that
you,
we stop trying and start doing because we're doing too much trying,
yeah,
okay? And we need to
Crystal,
designate time.
Yeah, but
So
Crystal,
I'm gonna
would you,
designate my 30 minutes, okay? So
oh,
just
so
call me Barry.
no, what would happen is, uh, your account would be debited 30 minutes, and either Steve or Northwest Austin Council would be credited 30 minutes. So
Okay, I
you
gotta
owe,
sign up on my account again. I haven't been on it in a while.
yeah, it's very easy. It's just timeexchanges.com.
hey, let me tell you something we can all start with. And this is what I know just by organizing. We can all start with people turning out. I mean, it's a struggle to get people to show up for things.
That's true. But Steve, what I'm saying is this is very concrete. That everybody on the call, Crystal was the first, I'll do the same thing. I'll give you 30 minutes of time. But
Right.
just give 5 minutes, and if everybody says yes, I'll do that. Tiny, you had said yes last meeting. Is that still a yes for this meeting?
Yeah. Mhm.
So 5 minutes from Tiny. What about
Barry,
what?
the
Yeah.
confusion comes in when you say, give me 5 minutes. The first thing people say is, okay, I just thought about it for 5 minutes. Again.
No, wait a minute. Wait. They would give you the credit. That means that they owe 5 minutes. So Tiny has to help someone else for 5 minutes and record it, which means that the person he helped has to agree to it.
Right. But I'm saying be more definitive in what you're doing, what you're saying. I'm saying tell people what you really want them to do. And I'm saying people need to get people to show up to events, situations, and all of that. And even if you can just
So
get
wait a minute, I'm getting confused. How does that relate to them donating time to you?
because if they go out and get the people to come to something that you're doing, or come to something that I'm doing, or come to something that Dr. Orr is doing,
Yeah, but then you could request them. You could say to Crystal, for example, or Tiny, you said you would credit me time. Would you spend that time doing such and such? If they say yes, then you pay them for their time.
that's what I'm saying. Everybody out here needs what I just told you.
Right. But that's a step. That's the second step. The first step is just getting the first donation done, because then you're going to have all that time credit, and then you can call on people and ask them specifically to do what you want. And you could propose that they do the same thing. So when Crystal has an event, she does the same thing. She asks people to donate time to Crystal or to her organization, and Dr. Orr, and so on. So what would happen is we're going to get it rippling out. And in the first ripples, nothing much is going to happen. But as people get used to it, it's going to have a huge impact and could mobilize more and more of the community in the spirit of helping each other and being in relationship.
So in essence, what you're saying is before anyone acts, they need to have the currency to act first.
I'm saying we do it all at once by donating the time to you. Then you've got the time, and Crystal owes the time.
Again, you're saying have the currency first instead of doing it.
It happens at the same time. In other words, there was no credit or debit between you and Crystal before she said yes. And then when she said yes, he's given you 30 minutes. So now the currency exists.
So let me say this, the actual time that I'm asking for is people just, when there are certain events, or if you can make it, because everybody gets this event fatigue, this event, that event.
And you're going to pay them for doing that.
Right, if you bring me 5 people, and you bring me 5 people, and this, to Crystal's
So
event.
what are you paying for 5 people?
What am I paying? If I could come up with the dollar or the time amount, then I'm gonna say the lowest I can go.
Yeah. So what would you give them? So that's exactly right. So it's negotiation. If you're too low, nobody's going to do squat.
Right.
And if you're, if you're being, offering a good amount, yeah, I'll do that.
That's why I'm saying it's almost important to put the action in place before so that you can get the currency. If you bring 5 people and they show up at Crystal's event, and 5 people came from Dr. Orr and 5 people came from me, then guess what? She tells us, guess what? I'm going to bring you 5 people, which equates to whatever time they spend at these events.
Yeah.
Give them that.
Yeah, you could do all kinds of things become possible once we start all agreeing to what the deal is. And if we're all going to bring each other 5 people, wow, that would be huge. Instead of just having, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 people on the call, we would have 50 people on the call, on this call.
Okay.
And the same would happen with Dr. Orr's group and Crystal's group. And that means that all kinds of people would benefit from the being together and supporting each other.
Right. If it applies to something that you want to bring people to, that's the key also,
Yeah. But you see, this is just the beginning, but the very first step is, let me just finish going around. Ella, would you be willing?
She's there somewhere.
Okay. And Raheem, would you be willing?
They're there somewhere.
Dr. Orr.
Hey, what's up, Barry? My fault.
Oh, hey, Raheem.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey.
What I was asking is whether you'd be willing to give Steve or Northwest Austin Council 5-minute donation of time credit.
Yeah, that's cool.
Great. And let me just finish. Dr. Orr and is it
You already
Mosaic?
know, Barry. I already told you. I'm ready to roll. I'm always ready to roll.
All right. Hey, that's fabulous. And Dr. Orr, the next step that would really make a huge difference is if you said the same thing to people attending, participating in your events. Donate 5 minutes of time to Dr. Orr or to Westside Rising, whichever one you decide on. Because then we're going to get a large number of people who are beginning to get this concept of give and get and pay forward and help someone.
Right.
And then Steve can begin to ask people to recruit.
Yep,
to
that's
his
organizing.
event,
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, right. But instead of it being supposed to do it, no one ever does squat. There's an obligation, because if you're paying someone to do it, hey, it's a whole different thing if you're paying someone to do something and they don't do it, rather than, hey, could you ask some people to come?
Right.
True.
So what we're beginning to do is to move towards responsibility and accountability in a supportive sense. Not to put anybody down, but to say, hey, we really need to help each other.
Right.
And it's not bullshit.
Yeah.
Well-
Also, back in the day, we had a level of accountability for
Well,
one
that's
another.
what,
Ray and Pookie and Boquisha, they couldn't just do anything and get away with it and nobody say anything. That was like a no-no.
yeah. And that's
Now
what,
we just sit back and watch because I think a lot of us go through a level of pause so that no one's going to allow anyone to jeopardize their future or their livelihood. And sometimes we sacrifice for that because of that,
I'm not following.
We used to be able
So
to tell
there's-
people, hey, you out of line, you out of order.
And
That's
now,
not cool. You didn't do right by people. It's not as prevalent.
yeah, well, I think this is about, what this is about is creating Peacebrook, where in Peacebrook, people help each other and are virtuous. And virtuous means you don't mess with people.
Right.
Yep.
You
No.
do good,
Yep.
you do good, not bad.
Yeah.
Because bad tears us down. And we need to build each other up.
Yep. Right.
That's the protocol. That's the direction.
Yeah. So, Dr. Orr, would you consider doing that? Asking people to donate time when they participate in your events? And I would
I do
help
it all
you.
the time. I ask people to volunteer all the time. I ask people to get engaged all the time.
No,
I don't
but
put it in the frame of Peacebook, but it's organizing. You have to do that. That's
right,
part of our thing. Yep.
right. But now this is just a little bit different. And what's different about it is you're saying, are you willing to pay Westside Rising for this organizing that they did in organizing the event you're participating in? And therefore, will you pay Westside Rising 5 minutes a time, which means that you'll have to help someone else. Or you can ask them to pay an hour, whatever you decide. But it's a different kind of thing than asking someone just to volunteer, because volunteering and hiring somebody or paying someone just feels different.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I think a link here, something you should consider, is that when you pay people, you eliminate the relationship. It's more of a transaction.
Yeah, but that's with dollars. We're not paying them with dollars.
No. Just hold on, listen to me. When we
Okay.
frame it in that sense, we frame it in a sense that it's transaction. And I think what it seems that the most important thing here is the relational piece.
That's
So
right.
framing it in that way, I think I would suggest, if that's something you would like, that we think about how you're going to frame the ask, because
Yeah.
people show up for people because of relationships, because of the work, or because they're interested. How do you build those
Yeah.
relationships behind?
Yeah, so what's different about time currency is that with dollar currency, you can call a cop, or you can sue them, or you can do all kinds of legal stuff. With time currency, you can't do that. So if they say they're going to pay you and they don't, that's a relationship issue, and you don't get paid.
Hey, is there inflation in time currency?
No, because time is, we all have 24 hours while we're breathing, and that doesn't change.
Let me explain something. Does everybody on here know how inflation works? I'm going to give you a really simple concept that came out of the Romans. The Romans used to pay their soldiers in silver, so they would give, one silver coin to each soldier. Then they started figuring out we need more soldiers and we need more empires to go after, but they didn't have a lot of silver. So what do? Instead of the coin being 100% silver, they start taking out 25% of the silver, putting in some copper or something to make it think it is still a silver coin, but the soldiers still got the coin. But now they need another 25% more worth of coins to buy their goods and their services that they still need. So they kept doing it.
Steve, what's the connection between that and paying in time?
Because you just said that time currency doesn't have inflation, and there would never be a need that I need more of this to pay for services or goods, even in time currency, than we would with dollars or any traditional.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
You said silver. They were paid in salt. Salt means salary.
Yeah, that's true. But they were also dinar. You know what a dinar is?
Yes.
They were paid in those silver dinars, and they just kept cutting it back until they got all the way down to about 50%. And they still had to go. I mean, that's literally what inflation is. You just got more paper. You're putting out paper money, but you're not giving them what it's worth, and you're not backing it by what it's really worth.
Yeah, well, the Germans did that too. Inflation, hyper inflation.
Yeah. So with time currency, we don't have those problems. So there are a lot of problems with the dollar currency, all kinds of problems. So what we're doing, what we're talking about is how we can better all connect and coordinate with each other by using time currency. And so, Dr. Orr, do you understand what I was saying about, yes, they'd be paying you for the meeting, but it's not enforceable like a contract is. It's because the obligation is built on relationship.
And you know what? That's absolutely right, Barry. I can tell you, every person out here has given up some of their time to show up at somebody's event. I remember when I invited Walter over to Cassandra's Veterans Garden, he came out. Now I invited Ellen to events like block club parties that's not even in her area, like in what's his name? Ella, you came to his block party. Arnold's block party down where Cassandra lives. She came to that. Raheem, we've been to your events, or what you do, your Juneteenth events and other events. We all, Dr. Orr, we all spend our time trying to help support each other.
Yep.
That's great. Now, with the time currency, what it does is it ripples beyond us. And we get, instead of us activists just constantly seeing each other at all these events and it all revolves around us, the problems are too big for just a handful of people. We need to involve more and more of the community helping each other.
But it has to be like silver. When the soldiers want the silver, they'll go out there and do their jobs. Even if it's only 50% of the silver, they just know that they got to get twice as much.
Yeah, so what that means is that if you are doing something for somebody and they're paying you a half hour a time, that means you have to deliver something worthwhile. And so people gotta, treat it like something like work. like something serious. So, yeah, Dr. Orr, it's right, it's relationship, but it's also beyond relationship. It's an agreement to help each other in a specific way. And you get compensated, you get credited for the work you do.
Right.
And we've got to begin, and the more we can do that work, productively, the more the whole community can flourish.
Absolutely.
So what we're talking about is both flourishing and virtuous.
Yeah.
Do good stuff and do good work.
That's why I say start with what everybody we know they could do best. We know
Yeah.
show up and show out when we want them at an event. We know that. I can sit here and be a witness to that over my many years. I know people will do that. Will they cost themselves doing it? No. Would I want you to? No. I mean, certain things, it's like, man, I get it. You just wear people down, but I know good and well, if I say, hey, this is very important, could you make it, can you bring 3, 4 people? People will show up and show out like that. And I know that if we all have that ability, it really helps, because sometimes we need that opinion, we need those groups, we need more people to say what they really believe when they need, at these events, and just to even get the information, as Chris said. A lot of times we can't even get people to understand there's information there. Yep. I mean, she told me today about the meeting with Trish Talaferro. I kept trying to figure out, like, why is he over there when he's got his own set of apartments and redevelopment going on? And but it made sense, Hey, he's trying to tell everybody, here's some apartments over here, and you need to know about this. I'm sure you'll do that with other areas also.
So that's where it really gets very effective, because knowing people and knowing what their strengths are, we can be really efficient.
Right.
In helping each other.
Yeah. What it takes. Efficiency and work.
And we don't have a bunch of super wealthy people taking all the profits. It just stays right in the community.
Yeah, question. Go ahead. We're ready to wind up. You had something, Dr. Orr, in conclusion?
No, I just hope that we really, I know we have the capacity to really work better together, build, establish our own social and economic systems that we set standards on. And I think we miss that a lot, that we don't set the standards. Access and a seat at the table is nothing when you don't set the standards. So I think we got to learn how to go back to setting our own standards for our own communities and enforcing them. And that goes across the board, for me, for you, for everybody. This is what the community say, and this is how we want to move. Somebody said everybody don't have authority, right? But we're the people. We have the authority. And how do we begin to look at it from those perspectives?
I like that.
I
like that. When you have a seat, just because you got a seat at the table, you ain't got to eat the dog food they serving. You can tell them,
man, all day long.
Hey, we ain't eating dog food today. You might be used to it, but that's not what we want. Absolutely.
But we can still do it in a dignified way. We don't have to, as many abolitionists and fighters and organizers, but there's a need for all of us. Every bit of us. It takes the perfect storm to make change happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And the storm is now. The storm is now. it's a crazy storm, and this storm is all over the world, and it comes
Yep.
right back to Austin on the west side at the end of the day. What you got, Crystal, in conclusion?
Thing. Hi. No, well, I mean, back to us all just working, finding better ways to, to, as I call it, the loop with no end, right? There's
Mhm.
this loop with no end, and
Mhm.
but no real action.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of organizations in Austin that are doing a lot of things, but like I say, that separation uh, of information, whereas we would be so much more effective. And like I say, I mean, I was reading the future of government and even private grants, and us, basically the future is us working together and, like creating our own table. Okay. It
That's right.
still comes back to creating our own table. And, if we all doing the same thing in different pieces, it diminishes our strength
Yes, it
and
does.
stuff. And I had the lady that's the that's over the business um uh whatever for the state, and she comes around and she speaks, and then she also sends out the newsletters every month from the state of Illinois. And she called me one day and she said, when I go up to the north side or the east side, and I see all the Hispanic
Yep.
organizations
Yep.
working together. Okay.
Yep.
She said it'll be 1,000 people there. It's one
We all
one
working together.
chambers meeting or one organization, and all the
Yep.
other organizations, they didn't come out to support each other so they can all eat at the same table. Okay.
That's
So
right.
they can all get the same information and then work the same information, and be power brokers where we all sitting at different tables, okay, all around Austin. Nobody know what nobody else is doing, okay, or if there's some idea, of course it belongs to there's no cohesion. Okay, well, come on, let's drill down and work this idea together. Um, to make help the youth, help the people that are formerly incarcerated, help the disabled people in the community. We have no centralized anything in Austin.
Well, it's intentional though.
Well, I know it's intentional, but the part is, what are we gonna do about it?
Yeah, it's
We just
intentional. Well,
we're a
we got to
small
get up
group
and
right
check
here,
first.
so I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what the conversation started. I
Yeah.
mean, we're a small group, but we can start it here. You see,
Yeah.
but it's got to start. Otherwise, it's just another continuing loop. So that's
Yeah.
all I got.
So can I,
Good
I can
talking
make
though.
this, I'm making this announcement. I think the 11th of April. Now we got all these comments and suggestions and all. If we all can come together and meet with Representative LaShawn Ford, then we can bring all our ideas and suggestions and all to him what we want in our community.
Yep.
Okay,
Well,
so do you already have an appointment, Miss Jacobs, or what's going on, or do we
Yes,
need to
we have
make
an
an
appointment.
appointment?
Yes, I
Mhm.
do. Pastor Ellis has made the appointment with him. The meeting is the 11th of April, and next Sunday I have the place and the time, but I do know the date is the 11th.
Okay, great. I'm gonna
So
put it on my calendar right now,
that's
and then
right.
you're gonna
So
give us the
everybody,
information.
we can talk about it. We can
Mhm.
go back and forth. But come on,
Mhm.
let's give our
Mhm.
opinion, what we want, how we want it, when we want it, and everything. Because we're gonna have the man right in front of us. We all stand at the table. If you have to bring your own chair.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
yeah.
And also, we doing a post-election debrief as well as candidate accountability. Ms. Jacob will talk about this, I think last Sunday or Sunday before last.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
DeAndre comes on our
Yes.
session and does it. And now, we got candidates in place. And what
Yes.
happens is we forget to look back to them and say, hey, this is what you said you was going to do.
Right.
So
There it is.
we're talking about this on Tuesday. And the thing is, the action item is who wants to be a part. So Ms. Jacobs, what you're doing, there's an absolute action opportunity for people who's on that call or on that meeting to support you. And y'all know I don't have a problem with cross supporting or whatever, because we all in this together.
Yes,
And
we
when
are.
the moment we begin to believe that we are one
And we're going
people.
to start working as one. We're going to come
Mhm.
together on what we want, and we want it now. We don't want it next year.
That's right, Ms. Jacob.
Right. But let's remember, when we come to the table, we bring in lawn chairs, not baby chairs and car seats, because everybody likes whole different agenda. And then everything off. And then you spin out like, wait a minute, well, what is that about?
Right. And then we just coming to the table. It ain't like we ain't got our own.
That's true.
We always can build our own table. We always can touch the system. We got to figure it out, because I think we are. Ms. Dyer talked about the nonprofit industry, how grants are going to go. Yeah, that's been coming down the pipe for real for a long time, but it is an industry, and it thrives. I ain't gonna talk about it, but it thrives off us not working together. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna
And
leave it
that's
like
true
that.
too. And I have nothing against grants. Grants are good.
Mhm.
But
I don't either. I need
we
them
have to
all.
go through so many red tapes and loops
Yep, to get them.
to
That's
get
right.
a little grant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe
That's right.
some of you all, is all the way up there, and you know how to maneuver and all this. But little people, I'm sorry, but I have a problem, because
Yeah,
it's
I ain't mad at you.
too many loops you got to go through.
That's right. It's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I could say,
So the alternative is that when people come to this meeting and they owe time, then they would pay Dr. Orr for doing her event. And because where we're going is the dollars are not going to support what we need. And they're being taken away, and the prices are going up. So if we use time currency, we can support Dr. Orr in a way that encourages her to work with Raheem's group and Steve's group, instead of all these groups competing with each other for scarce dollars. So we keep circling around.
so true. But
And one other thing, to Christo's point about how people, organizations aren't working together, what time currency is based on is you don't have to all come to an agreement. It's just individual decisions. Do you want to pay Steve? Do you want to donate 5 minutes of time to Steve for organizing this meeting or not? It's totally up to you. You don't need to coordinate with anybody. It's just your decision.
right.
And it impacts relationships. For people who say, no, I'm not going to pay Steve, that's like, well, it's something very different than, yeah, I appreciate the work you've done and I'm going to give you credit. It's a different message.
Yeah. I think everybody supports one way or another.
Yeah.
the way I've been seeing it for decades.
Yeah, I think that's really true, that there's so much more mutual support everywhere. But we need to bring it to a new level to have the community flourish.
So true, so true. Jimmy John, where you go? Give me Han. Give me Han. Give me John. What you got? Anything? In conclusion? Point? I guess not. You got Tiny? Anything? In conclusion? Dr. Raheem, anything in conclusion?
No, nothing to add. But good show tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna be touching back with you now, man. I'm kind of my preoccupation, occupied time was is I got a little more time to come in on WTF and check y'all out. I've been out for a little while, but definitely we'll get back in touch.
All right, cool. I appreciate it, man. I know you're a busy man, so I don't hold it against you.
Yeah, man. Woo. You're right. But we made it through. That's all I can say. We made it.
For sure.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else?
Hello?
I look back in the back somewhere. But let me get ready to go ahead and close out.
Can I say something, Steve?
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Tiny. I missed you.
Yeah, you know, Ella had a great idea. I think she said we should call on each other than just when we're talking on the show.
That's right.
That we could all, you know, you give them our number and make a list of everybody's number and what they do, and then we communicate like that.
That's true.
We can put it in the link, or I can make the list. That's not hard. I think I have everybody's number, and I know everyone has various things that they're doing in the community.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Coming together is the key. I mean, I go back to the years of NAC where we had almost $50 budget, you know, and we had 27 employees. You know, most of them making like about $30,000 a year, and it was just so much chaos, man. It was just chaos because the work was done, but you had to have more people watching the people to make sure the work was getting done.
True.
And I remember Ms. Spann used to have a very direct way of doing it. She would have people out in the community that were like make sure that these organizers were doing what they were just
Right.
say, oh, this, that, and the other. She said, well, I called Miss such and such today. She said, you didn't even come on the block. She didn't see. She said, I'm gonna give you another chance. Go and do what I told you to do, and make sure you get the information and get it done.
Right.
And you know, but I can honestly say, you know, more money makes more problems, but it's all about management. It's all about management. You know?
Well, I'm gonna say this and I'm gone. We the senior squads. Anybody want to come on board and be in the group with the senior squad? We moving right along. And DeAndre is our voice. That's how we moving.
I'm with you, Ms. Jacqueline.
All right, come on now. Go.
I'm with you.
And
I'm telling you now, I'm with you.
They always said they didn't want to give us a seat at the table, so we had to create our own. And
that's right.
Sunday from 6 to 8 o'clock, and it's a little bit after. We'd like to welcome you to Northwest Austin Council. Good night, y'all. See you next weekend.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Everybody, cool.
Good night,
Good night, all.
Safe, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Thanks, man.